Hi, my name is Brett Yates, and I'm a occupational therapy student at Southern Illinois Collegiate Common Market. And what I'm doing is I'm doing an assignment for my occupational therapy class. We call this a treatment bag. And so I'm posting this YouTube video for my assignment. Possibly some others out there may watch it who are not in my program. But it's good to meet you all today. And so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some different items that I would use, therapeutic items, with children with different disabilities. And the performance skills that will be addressed today will be the motor skill of stabilization, the motor skill of gripping something, the process skill of pacing something, that is, working on a task, in the right way so that you will finish it at the right time. And then the process skill of attending to something, meaning that you pay direct attention to something that you do. The process skill of organizing, the process skill of calibrating something, the social skill of turning towards someone when you speak to them, motor skill of manipulating objects with finger movements, the motor skill of handling something in the right way so that you won't squeeze an egg, it won't break in your hands, that you know how to hold it in the right way, the motor skill of coordinating, and the process skill of emotional regulation. So for my hypothetical patients or clients, we've got eight-year-old Colin, who has dysphagia with difficulty with spatial understanding, handwriting, and math. 6-year-old Ian, he's been diagnosed with ADHD. He has trouble focusing, doing things in the proper sequencing, that is, doing things in the proper order. He gets ahead of himself sometimes, when he's told to do a project, sometimes he may skip a step or two. We're going to work on that with him. We're going to work on proper sequencing with pace, and so he struggles with pacing and attending, and he's unable to complete tests in the time required. 8-year-old Martin is cognitively impaired with autism and motor skill disorder. He has difficulty with balance and with handling objects with appropriate pressure. So he's one of those, like if you handed him an egg, he might break it, So 7-year-old Jeffrey, another patient, has PTSD and has difficulty socially with people, has trouble controlling his anger. And then we have 5-year-old Melanie, who is diagnosed with MS and has weak grip strength. So the first item we're going to look at today is the Play-Doh. We all remember this as a kid, right? We remember Play-Doh? We all do. Some of us ate it, probably. So looking at this therapeutic use of item, I think it runs for about, $2 at the dollar store, something like that. But for 7-year-old Jeffrey, it can be therapeutic in that it is an object he can work his anxiety out and anger with his hands, while at the same time creating something artistic. And so this is one of the things that we want to do to kind of help Jeffrey with his emotional regulation. For Melanie, this is something that she can use to build grip strength. Melanie, who has MS. While at the same time, she can do something artistic for it. And so for Melanie, the targeted skills would be grip skill and manipulation. And, you can kind of manipulate the Play-Doh like this. For Martin, he has trouble understanding how to handle objects. That's one of his difficulties. Like you'd hand Martin an egg and he might do this, break the egg. So you might want to work with Martin on okay, hold this like you would hold a bird. Squeeze this, Martin. Hold this like you would hold a bird. And you would work with him. And at the same time, it would be something fun for him to engage in. So another object in my treatment bag, another object in my treatment bag is a dry eraser board. We all love to doodle on these. These are fun. These are just great. You can get these for only $1 at the dollar store. And so I was thinking that this would be a good therapy for Colin, because he struggles with dysphagia. He struggles with understanding spatial things or comprehending spatial things. He has difficulty with writing and spacing his words the right way. And so like if you had Colin to sit down and practice writing, chances are he would have a pile of papers with maybe a lot of mistakes. But this way, instead of cutting down all those trees, you could have him, write on the board, and then he wipes it off, right on the board, and he keeps practicing and keep affirming him what he does right, and that's the one thing you want to do. Sometimes when you're doing therapy, sometimes you want to correct people, but sometimes you give people some affirmation on what they're doing right, and they'll focus on it and they'll get better, which is what we're hoping for Colin. For Ian, you could work with him on sequencing, thinking through the steps of the task. Now, I know Ian likes to play baseball, but the thing with Ian is, having ADHD, and I have ADHD also, Ian, he has trouble one of his problems is his mind races so fast, he tends to just jump into things, jump into activities, class activities, or projects without thinking through the steps or even skipping steps. So we want to work with Ian on this. So what I might do with Ian is I might give him this dry marker board. Oops, the side of this thing's coming out. Here we go. All right, I give him the dry marker board and say, Ian, you like to play baseball. Write down the steps that it would take to hit a baseball out of the park. Make him start with walking to the plate. Make him, okay, what do we do next? Make him think through every single step. You start with an activity that he likes to do. It makes it fun. So the targeted skills for Ian would be sequencing, in that he would need to take time to think about the steps of a task before he does it, and also the process skill of pacing, that he would understand, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of time here, this amount of time there. And so you can talk about the steps with him. But this is a tool. And Melanie, due to her MS, has been having trouble with her writing. Because of her MS, she fatigues. And so maybe we can work with her in getting the right grip on the marker, ensure that she has the right grip on her marker, right, and a pencil. But your dry marker board, it's great. So the target skill would be grip. And also we might work with her with pacing, pacing her task. And what I mean by this is more the motor skill of pacing, as opposed to the processing skill that, she's written for 5 minutes and she's tired, take a break. And, work with her on that. Okay, the next item I'm kind of excited about, because I grew up with this as a kid. It's fun. We played it a lot. Man, we played this a lot when I was in 6th grade. But I digress. So this is a Nerf football. This was $3 at the dollar store. So with the Nerf football, how can we use this item? So with the Nerf football, we could work with Martin on calibrating an object. He has trouble, just understanding how to hold objects and manage objects. And so with calibrating this, Martin would have to apply the right force for an object. So maybe we offer to play catch. And maybe I'm not a great distance away, but I'd be like, okay, Martin, throw the ball to me. And I would say, think about throwing the ball to me. And even think about how, when I throw a ball, like a football, sometimes I'll draw my left hand back, my right hand up. And we practice catching back and forth and catching the ball's calibration. And so we work on that. It's okay if he drops the ball. It's just wanting him to engage in it and make it fun. And so we do that. And, like I said, we would maybe start with him at a short distance, and we would work on his processing skills of handling the ball and calibrating the ball. With Melanie, we've talked about using the Play-Doh, but also maybe this could be something for her with her MS, where she can use both hands, something to maybe apply strength to both hands, to just something to hold and to work with. And she could strengthen her grip, and maybe a little bit of tossing exercises with her, where she could practice some coordination in catching the ball. Okay, so with the Nerf, we would have this as therapy for Jeffrey. Jeffrey was taken out of an abusive home and lives in a foster home now. He has difficulty interacting with others, and it's just a sad situation. But what better way to maybe help him? Because one of the things he doesn't look at people. He turns away from him. So one way to engage him and get them to look at you is, hey, Jeffrey, you want to play some ball? We'll catch ball. And if he likes it, which I hope he will, I hope that this will open up to him social skills, and that this social skill of him turning towards people more. And the next item I have is a box of crayons, and so this is really good because for Ian, you could empty this carton of crayons, and of course this box isn't organized by color, but you could make him organize the colors. Because Ian is challenged. He's challenged at keeping things neat and organized. And if he organizes it, there'd be a little treat for him. His favorite candy bar or something. So we would have him organize the colors in order. By all the reds together, all the yellows together, all the greens together. And this would involve the process skills of organizing, but also the process skill of attending. Now for Colin, you could work with him on his spatial understanding maybe, because if Colin has difficulty understanding spatial objects or distances between them, maybe you can just kind of pace these out. Like, hey Colin, let's space these out so that these are all even. And of course, that's not as even as it should be. But anyway, you get the right idea. So we'd be working on that with Colin. But we could also make it fun for him, for example. Hey, Colin, let's practice your writing. Let's make it fun by doing some graffiti letters and showing some big, fun graffiti letters, having him do that, make it fun. And, he could come up with something that he could take home and his mom could put on the refrigerator that will encourage him to strive for proper spacing between the letters. And this will involve the skill of organizing and attending. So we could also use crayons with Martin. We mentioned Martin again, making sure that he holds the crayon in the right way so as not to break it. And so my friend Lisa, who's filming this is actually her crayons. I'm not going to break your crayon, Lisa, but you get the idea. The right amount of pressure will involve the process skills of handling and attending. And, different parts of his brain will be working on this as he's placing these objects. Now, I got mixed up my sheets here. That's okay. It's all good. So anyway, I was starting to read something from another sheet, but my final item that I was going to get to, that I was really excited to get to, is the drum, which has been my podium. My good friend Lisa, who's filming me, she's been teaching me the djembe drum. It's from Africa. Now, this probably ran about $80 on Amazon, but there are cheaper alternatives you can get for drums, definitely. But what I'm going to do is, do I still have plenty of time?
You're at 11.
Okay, I'm 11 minutes. Okay, I have a little bit of time.
You're at 13, actually.
13 minutes. Okay, I can make this go 2 minutes. Okay, so we have like a music sheet here. And so anyway, for when we're looking at playing the drum, for example, for Ian, with his ADHD issues, learning the drum will compel him to pay attention to the right sequence of beats and rhythm. Learning musical instruments have often been good therapy for people with ADHD, and I can testify that because when you're playing with somebody, you have to pay attention to the beat they're playing and play with them. So this would be really good because you really have to directly pay attention to what you're doing. For Melanie, you could introduce the drum as a way to increase her hand strength. It could be a fun activity for her, and she might discover a love for music. This would improve her strength as well as teaching her a musical skill. She will likely gain the benefit from improving process skills and pacing attending, as well as working on arm strength. And then for Jeffrey, who we've been talking about, this could be a good sublimation device to channel bad emotions into playing a musical instrument. Here's someone who's struggling with PTSD, just struggling with issues, trying to connect with people. And if he grew to love this instrument and played it, it could also serve as a good social connection with them. Well, my name is Brett. This was my bag. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.